Hello, welcome to Studio Pixel. This is the sixth chapter of Lights in 3ds Max. Okay, in the previous chapters of in this series, we have already covered up the advanced effects, and in this chapter, we are going to discuss about the shadow parameters of standard lights in 3ds Max. So for that, I have created a scene with a teapot and the simple plane, and also a target spotlight. So I'll just switch on the shadow to show you the shadow parameters. The first shadow parameters is shadow objects, object shadows, that is the shadow colors. And if you hit the render, oops, it's a bit far away. Fine. Now if you hit render, you can see that shadow has been coming out, and you can say that you have a light leakage over here. The reason is that I don't have my force two-sided or two-sided on. There are two ways you can fix this thing. One is go to render settings and switch on the force two-sided option in the common tab. If you hit render again, you can see the problem has been solved. And another one is from the shaders. If you apply this shader, apply any shader, and switch on the two-sided option in the standard basic material option, and if you hit render, you can see there has been light leakage has been gone. So that is the two ways that you can fix this thing. I'm not going to use the material option. I'm going to use the render setup option for this. Fine. If you hit render, you can see the light bleed is off. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the options of my shadow parameters. And the first option is the color of the shadow, that is black. I can change. It's very self-explanatory that I can change my shadow colors, though I don't need it in general cases, but in some cases with the non-photorealistic rendering or maybe cartoon rendering or something, you can use this as a very good tool. So that's the shadow color, and also the shadow density. You can put it down over, let's say, 0.5 or something, to make the shadow is little bit lighter than the previous one. But this is not a very good way to decrease the light of the shadow, because your other side of the object is completely dark. Then you have to put the fill lights over here. So putting the fill light is the best way to use this density. But sometimes you can use this density option and pull it down to according to your scene, and that is quite acceptable. Okay, next one is the map. I can put map onto my shadows, like if I put none, and from the maps I can use any kind of standard maps or any kind of bit maps. Right now I'm going to use let's say marble. Okay, now I cannot change my map from here, so I have to move on to my material editor and drag this marble into a material slot and hit instance, so that these two will be connected, and I can change from my material editor. Fine. If you hit render now, you can see that shadow has been changed, the color has been changed. Though my density is 1 and shadow color is black, still the color of the shadow is not coming properly because I have already changed it. You can hit tiling, let's say 10. Oops, sorry. And if you hit render again, you can see the shadow color has been changed. You can change the marble to checker or anything, discard my old map, and also hit tiling. You can see that's where you are pretty much able to change your shadow colors. So that's how the map is actually going to work. Now, what is the use of it? Nobody can use a map or something like this, but you can use a fake caustics or fake caustics or some similar kind of effects for this. If you have some map over there in your in your hand, you can self painted, and you can use it for non-photorealistic output. So that is very handy for that particular effect. Fine. So now next option is my light, whether my light is going to affect the shadow color or not. Now this is very tricky because you have to be very careful about this. Now I'm getting back to my normal colors, and right now from my intensity, color, attenuation, rollout, I'm just going to change my light color to red, and if I hit render, you can see that my shadows are not going to getting effect from the light colors. But if I switch on my light effects shadow color and if it render, you can see the shadow has been also be affected by the color, the color of the light. So that is quite acceptable because that is gonna happen because of the surroundings. But still you can use this option, but remember that this is not going to happen if you are not using any kind of map. If you switch off the map and if you render, you can see that actually there is no difference between using the light effect shadow color option if you are not using the map option from this rollout. So these things works together. So if you are not switching on this map, or if you are not using any kind of map, then this option is don't have any kind of meaning. So I have to be very careful. So next option is the atmosphere shadows. Now I have to create an atmosphere because I don't have any kind of atmosphere objects over here. So just getting back to my regular things, just switch off those options. Fine. I have to create an atmosphere, so just move on to the atmospheric apparatus and say box gizmo. Fine, and move this box gizmo from here. Now I'm going to create some fine. Now move on to the rendering menu, environment. Now under the environment, in the atmosphere, you can add the volume fog and add that volume fog from big gizmo to the box gizmo. Now hit exponential and just a regular type of noise. Don't hit exponential, switch off. And if you hit render, you can see my fog kind of things are coming out this way. Switch on the exponential for a bit better result. I can use the fractal, and now this is coming kind of a cloud or something. And remember, I have to create this, otherwise I'm not going to use this atmospheric shadows. And now switch on the atmospheric shadows on, and if you hit render, now you can see that oops, it's actually coming, but it's really fade. there you can see it's a very small amount because the density, I think the density will be maybe 50. Okay, now you can see. So increase the density because the cloud density, if the cloud density is not that much, then light is actually go through the your atmospheric apparatus. Now you can see and also the distance from the shadow casting object with the shadow receiving object. So that's how you can have your the density the atmospheric shadows inside your scene. So in the atmosphere shadow, now you can see the opacity, which is actually controlled also connected with the density. Now if you increase my density and if you hit render, you can see the amount of the density is quite dense, and also you can see the shadows are coming well, and you can decrease the opacity of your shadow from here, you can see. So I'm just reduce my opacity of the shadow, and just like the density of your object shadows. Now the color amount, that is also a very interesting one, because this will definitely help you for an environmental scene. Now select for that thing, change the color of the atmospheric cloud into red one. Okay, fine. Now you can see that the red is actually overlapping with the pink colors, and if I reduce the color amount, you can see very clearly that now the atmospheric shadow color is not exactly the color of the object or the cloud, that is black. Now if you increase the color amount and hit render, you can see the shadow of the atmospheric objects are also the same as the color of the atmospheric object. So that will remain, and this you can mix and match with this color amount. So this is all about the shadow parameters. Hope you enjoy this. Please don't forget to like our page in Facebook, and also follow us in Twitter, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay with us tuned. Thank you very much.